Hey, what up, everybody? Rhett Weaver here from Intraland, Utah. We've been predicting rates are going to continue to fall, and they will. So if you're not paying attention, quit listening to the media. Inflation has everything to do with interest rates. Tomorrow's Fed hike of 50 basis points has nothing to do with it. So pay attention. The way they talk tomorrow has everything to do with it. If they agree that inflation is slowing down, that we could possibly be headed towards a recession, you're going to see mortgage bonds tomorrow even get better, which means rates are going to get better. Let me show you kind of some details on everything so you guys kind of understand. So the CPI report came out again today. We're seeing interest rates get a lot better today, which is awesome. Basically, it dropped year over year because everything's a year over year structure here from 7.7 down to 7.1. And the core went from 6.3 down to 6, which was better than expected. So this is great news. This is why we have been talking about interest rates coming down. When we take a look at inflation again, one of the biggest things that I want to point out to you is basically this chart here. Again, it's year over year. So now we've hit October, now we've hit November, now we're going to go ahead and hit December. And so this right here, October and November, is from last year. As you can see, October and November are down, which is huge. So we've still got December and January to take a look at to help us to get rates a little bit lower. This is why they're going to continue to get a little bit lower. If we go back to this last graph, one thing that we've got to pay attention to, because 25% of basically this report is about shelter, and we're not going to get a break on shelter until about January. January is going to be our break point. So once we get a break on shelter, because as you can see, it's up year over year. Once we get a break on shelter, which is everything, it has to do with every type of hotel, Airbnbs, everything in the market. Once we get a break on the year over year here in January, we're going to see things kind of fall. So here's a really good description of what we're taking a look at. The shelter CPI is a little bit behind. January is our really big breaking point, and then we're going to see this kind of soften. And this is why they're predicting interest rates are really going to come down the first, maybe second quarter of this next year and be in the 5%. Just because shelter's lagging just a little bit, kind of what we saw when we predicted last month in November that rates were going to fall. We were kind of at the peak. Now we're seeing everything kind of come to play here. One other thing that I really want to show you is we've got a big week going on. So today we have the CPI inflation report. Tomorrow we're going to have the Fed talk about their rate decision. Again, even if they raise it 50 basis points, that doesn't negatively affect us. It really depends on the way that they speak tomorrow on whether that's going to be a negative or a positive for us. So if they start to agree that inflation is getting controlled, you're going to see mortgage bonds rally. Interest rates are going to become lower. We got retail sales and job claims data coming out on Thursday. And then, really for Friday, we've got manufacturing for PMI, things like that. This is probably the biggest week in real estate and lending that we'll have in 2022, the whole year of 2022. This is a big factor because this is really going to project what's going to happen moving forward in January and February and everything like that. So I think we got a really early Christmas present. Hopefully this excites you guys, helps you understand what's happening in the market. Interest rates are only going to get lower, which means we've got a really small margin here before this slips back into a seller's market. So for those of you that have buyers out there, go ahead and talk to the buyers, tell them what's going on, show them the data, show them this video. And we just want to basically prove to everybody that rates are going to come down and they'll continue to come down. Have a good week. Stay safe.